The copy of the Open Meetings Act is located on the wall here at the entrance of the room. And we have 5 items today on the agenda. The first, discussion and consideration of health insurance administration proposals and next steps.
Okay, well, I can start. So, the county did an RFP for a health insurance plan administrator. Currently, we have United Healthcare. The county received 3 proposals from Aetna, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and United Healthcare. We have Tracy Krause from Aon is our contracted consultant, and Aon's in the process of reviewing the proposals along with some internal staff. So we're not prepared to discuss the contents of the proposals today, but we wanted to talk about the process of moving forward in the review process. So the next step would be to interview all 3 companies, if that is what the county board wants. So that's what we'll do. And I believe those are scheduled for when?
17th and 18th.
I'd like to schedule on the 17th and the 18th.
So August 17th and 18th. Obviously, any commissioners that would like to attend are free to do so. And is that going to be in this room? Do we know yet? Probably.
I'm not sure. I think
Okay.
so.
Well,
I
we'll
believe
probably
so.
have it in here at
Both days,
9:30.
I believe we're here.
Okay.
I'm gonna be out of town for sure on the 17th, 18th.
Okay. It's a really tight window, so we would like to go
Yeah.
ahead if we could with the interviews. We're really backing into a date. I believe that things really need to be approved. Hopefully on the August 30th meeting, county board meeting. Is that right? Are we having an HR? What's the next step?
The next one is a committee meeting. on the
23rd.
23rd.
Correct.
Right.
So
And
we
then-
have the interviews on the 17th.
And then county board approval on the 30th.
Right.
So it's a pretty tight time frame, so we can get ready for open enrollment. So that's basically the process, unless anybody else had anything to add or have any questions.
Okay, any questions, Commissioner Warner?
Is it appropriate to ask what the difference of the proposals are, or is it this time we're not supposed to?
I'd rather not to get into it now because we are in the process of reviewing them, and so we'd like to do that the next committee meeting, which is on the 23rd.
Okay,
Now, obviously, I mean, I can share those with the commissioners, during the week if you'd like, but I'd
and when
really
would
not
the
like to get
board
into it
vote
now.
on this, or?
The 30th.
The 30th.
Yeah, that would be the strong preference.
You'll have a recommendation from the HR,
Yes.
okay, and then when will will they be at the meeting the 30th to talk about it?
We'll be at the 17th, 18th, 23rd, and 30th. We'll be at all those.
And again, I'm probably saying some things that maybe aren't appropriate to say at this point. I haven't seen anything yet. The only thing I know, in the city just changed from Coventry to someone else.
Well, they changed from Aetna, which purchased Coventry, but the players are all the same. So they changed from Aetna / whatever, if you want to call it, the old Coventry, to Blue Cross, I believe. Or they're in the process of making that change.
Right? I don't know if, I mean, that's the word on the street. I haven't
Yeah,
heard
but
anything
they're
official.
changed. That's what I've heard too.
Mhm.
The only thing is, for us, anytime you make some change, it's a little disruptive to our
Yes.
people.
Yes.
And I think I'd make the statement that for me, I think what we're supposed to do is not necessarily always take the low bid, but the best bid in our opinion.
And it's not a bid, it's not really even low and
Or a
best bid,
proposal.
because it's a proposal, so really all bets are off when it comes to what you're statutorily required to. It's really what you believe is in the best interests of the county
And the employee.
and the employees are.
Right.
And there are 2 components. Administration is one, so what they want to charge you for, processing the claims, but the other piece is the discount analysis that we'll do, that the commissioners will sign on the 16th, like a non-disclosure agreement, so we can run your claims through our proprietary database and then show you guys if it's $1 with United, it's $1.03 with UHC, or it's $1.04 with Blues, or whatever that will
Right.
be. So, and that's the bigger piece, the claims discount.
So I think I'm open-minded about it, but to me, I want to do what's best for our employees, and there's hardly the things. The consistency's kind of nice, but there may be justification, reason to look at this, but we'll go from there.
Any other questions? Commissioner Duda?
I can tell you from experience that it is painful to switch. It is hard on employees, and you kind of need a pretty strong reason to do that. Again, I'll be anxious to hear what they come up with, but you need a compelling case. We did that once years ago, switched to Blue Cross, and then the next year things went way up, and we were ended up being kind of sorry we had done it, and it was disruptive to a lot of employees.
But this, I just want to clarify, this first item that we're talking about is just for the administration of those claims. We're not talking about changing health plans yet.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
The
That
benefits,
the administrator
would
is
stay
the health
same.
plan, basically.
So
Right.
The plans would stay the same. The 600
But it's the
plan,
carrier.
HSA plan, the carrier
Right,
would change.
but-
Right.
This is only, Marianne, this is just the discussion on what the next steps are that we would like to do, interview the carriers. And
Right,
then
but-
from,
But, so tell me, so we have two items here. Well, that says life insurance.
Right.
Yes, I
Yeah,
should
that's
put my
different.
glasses.
So that's next.
Should put my glasses on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
it's just our, what the next steps are, to give an approval from the county board to interview those three
Okay.
companies next week, and then bring back to the 23rd our recommendations as a staff to that HR committee meeting, with the hope that you vote on August 30th.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it still is what we said.
Yeah, it was.
What Claire said is exactly where I am. Maybe didn't say it as clearly as you stated it, but that's my concern exactly.
Yep.
And that's why I've mentioned the employees several times,
Yeah.
because I think it does cause some concern, and I want to be sure Karen, gives us her good voice of HR experience and expertise too, and then we listen to Aon, and that's what we're lucky to have as our consultant.
Okay, any other questions or comments? So everybody has the process. Let me put my glasses on. Item 1 for the health insurance. Everybody has the process now.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, all right. So we'll move on to item 2, which is regarding life insurance proposals.
Kathy, you want to take
Yes, we did go out to bid for the life insurance. We have had Minnesota Life since 2005, and quite frankly, they have done a very good job. In fact, over those years, they had lowered our basic life coverage. They extended up to $500,000 for the supplemental for the employee. They added spouse supplemental, which was a flat amount for many years, or as long as I've been here. And they also added supplemental for the child. Unfortunately, over the last 2 years, our experience rating has completely gone out of the roof. Probably in my 23 years here, I don't know that I've ever had any more death claims in the last 2 years than we had. So with that in mind, when we got the renewals from Minnesota Life, they were quite high, and staff recommended that we at least go out and see what was out in the market. We did get proposals back, and I don't know, Tracy, how many were there?
8.
Yeah. And out of the 8, 2 of them were better than all the rest, significantly, and much better than Minnesota Life. Those being Voya and Minnesota Life.
MetLife.
Not
I
bad.
mean, excuse me, MetLife, thank you. And with MetLife, they had a lower cost for their supplemental for the employee, which is an employee cost, not a county cost. The basic life was higher for MetLife, and so we looked at it from a county out-of-pocket expense, which is your basic life and your accidental death claim, and that was lower with Voya. So staff really would like to recommend Voya for the new carrier for next year.
Do we have the spreadsheet of what's, do we have that?
So an annual premium.
I mean, to
Did you
show,
make
to
copies?
pass
Yeah,
out?
I can make a copy.
We should have probably done that. I wondered
That would
if
be
we had
easier to
copies of
follow,
that.
I think.
Yeah.
Do you want to make?
When we did go back, I think Tracy went back to them, both MetLife and Voya, And Voya came back and reduced the supplemental, which is again the employee cost, not the county cost. MetLife.
I let Jolene do all that negotiating. She's the tough
Yes,
cookie back
okay,
there.
yeah. So MetLife did not. Theirs was final and best. So with that in mind, because it's a county cost for the basic, by far Voya was the best. And then when they came back and reduced the supplemental for the employee, we just felt that Voya was probably what we would recommend.
They used to be ING, if you see those commercials when you're watching.
Yeah.
So that's the name. I mean, I don't want to say recent. It's probably been Voya for a few years, but nobody recognizes Voya. They recognize the ING commercials.
And you know, they're also the ones who administer our 529 plan.
457.
457, yep.
And Patrick will bring it. Your current annual premium on the basic life is $73,000. Your renewal with Minnesota Life went up to $106,000. And the proposal from Voya, which is their best and final, is $79,000. So it's still an increase, but like Kathy said, your experience hasn't been great the last 2 years. So
And we got a 3-year guaranteed,
Guaranteed.
so that, it's not like we're going to take the lowest for
And then
next
have them
year
switch
and
us.
then be bumped up, at least we have a 3-year guarantee renewal. And so, and really from the employee's perspective, it's really irrelevant because if there's a death claim, we process it here through the insurance carrier, so it's irrelevant to the employee as far as if it's Minnesota Life, it's MetLife, or who it is, basically, differently than your dental or your medical. They're really far removed from that, other than, just wanting to know what kind of level of coverage that they have. So
That hasn't
it's
changed.
no, the coverage is
level of
identical.
no,
coverage hasn't
they
changed.
gave the proposals based on what our current.
What the current-
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
So
Mr.
that-
Rogers?
I was curious, did Voya buy ING? Because ING was involved in the,
Yeah, I think Voya purchased them.
No, what happened was ING is a big Dutch financial company.
well,
And they
ING
spun
in
off.
2007, weren't they the first, didn't ING trigger all of this financial recession stuff?
Well, they're a big so they're in a bunch of different financial businesses. And like I said, they're primarily a Dutch company, so they spun off their North American operations. They did a tax-free spin-off, and they renamed their North American operations Voya. And so now it's a freestanding company that I think is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So they've severed their ties, but it was really done as a corporate spin-off.
So you can see that first column to the left in like yellowish is your in-force rates. So currently, annually, it's $73,241. That's what the county pays, and then the voluntary life.
Enforced name.
I'm sorry.
Enforced name.
Current today, your annual premium, and then the voluntary life, which is employee paid, is $391,074. And so you can see the Minnesota life, was an expensive renewal. Voya's all the way to the right. So again, the county would pick up the $79,519, and your employees can purchase that supplemental coverage. And if we took who has what today and put that with Voya, it would be $473,291.
Is the quote here, just to clarify, is the quote here for Voya on the supplemental, does that include the new rate, or is this at the original rate?
That's the original.
Yeah, so it's actually
Better.
better over that,
Less.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Commissioner Morgan, did you have
No.
a question? Any-
There was a request, I think, by the county board or somebody from the county board that wanted us to consider not having, see what the quote would be if we didn't have accidental death and dismemberment. And I don't know what the difference was, but I'm reluctant not to offer the accidental death and dismemberment. It's basically the same level of coverage as the basic life, which is $15,000. And in my tenure here, we've paid that out 3 times for accidental death. So I don't know of an employer that doesn't carry accidental death. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that we did look at that, and it's such a minimal cost that
We kept it in.
I think it's
$10,000 a year.
it's pretty much worth keeping.
Anybody else? So this will go on the board next week, could it, or
Same time as the health insurance, probably.
We
right?
thought we
It's
would
the
just
same
do it
time.
all at one
Okay.
time.
till the 30th?
And it would be effective January 1st, 2017.
17 for 3 years.
Okay, all right. And any other questions or comments? Next is a discussion regarding renewal